It's time for another Out of Bounds Rewind with Bo Bounds on ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Mississippi State did what they needed to do last weekend, and they'll be hosting Notre Dame. Notre Dame looks like a heck of a baseball team, right? They 50-5 over the weekend, 16 home runs. One dude was, 6 of 10 with 6 bombs. I guess that does, but what else jumps out at you when you're looking at this Notre Dame roster that will be coming into town?
Defense. And that's one of the things this time of year that sometimes gets overlooked, that they really defend it really well. So they're not going to give you a lot of extra outs. I mean, there's baseball and then there's really good baseball, and that's kind of been their trademark this year. And if you look at their statistics, I mean, outside of Cavadas, there's nothing that just jumps off the page at you. But when you go down and look at their defensive statistics and the fact that they really don't give you extra base runners, they don't give you extra outs, it means you're going to have to go earn it. And, listen, they're not going to have anything that Mississippi State hadn't already seen, because in the SEC play, you see the best pitchers you're going to see around the country. And the ACC is comparable as well. So it's not going to be a huge surprise or it's going to be some big adjustment. You're going to have to go out there and play clean baseball, and that's what Notre Dame does. And I think that's probably the biggest thing outside of, Cavadas you look at and say, we're going to have to go earn it rather than expect somebody to boot the ball around a little bit. But
you don't think that – there's not – a penny's worth of difference in these two rosters, or do you disagree with that?
Well, I think I think it's pretty even. Honestly, if you look at every one of the attributes, it's really, really similar. I think they in many respects are kind of mirror images of each other. With I think State's just simply got more depth in a bullpen, and that's probably the case against anybody in the country. There's probably nobody that's got a bullpen as deep as Mississippi State. But yeah, when you start working through these. State doesn't have the big power numbers of Cavadas between one player. But when you look at their numbers, State's a little more evenly distributed when it comes to the power numbers. Cavadas got 21 home runs. Nobody else is in double digits. And State's got a handful of guys. You got Cam James and Luke Hancock, Logan Tanner. So I think the power numbers are more evenly distributed on the Mississippi State side.
Don't miss one moment of the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Weekdays, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. on ESPN 105.9, The Zone.